Welcome back, everyone. Grab your popcorn because today's story is packed with shocking twists, emotional moments, and secrets that change everything. Let's jump right in. I cannot even begin to contain my absolute shock and disbelief at the sheer, unadulterated audacity of what is happening right under Carly Spencer's nose at the Metro Court. My jaw literally hit the floor, rolled under the sofa, and I am still trying to find it. We have to talk about this massive, glaring, neon-flashing betrayal that is unfolding in the security office of Port Charles's most elite establishment. Ross Cullum has a mole. Andrew Hawks is playing this villain with such a chilling, calculated precision, but to think that he has managed to infiltrate the very fortress that Carly and Nina built is just mind-boggling. I am pacing my living room, just thinking about the implications. Someone on that payroll, someone wearing a Metro Court uniform, is feeding Cullum every single piece of information, every camera angle, and every guest log. And why? Because Jen Sidwell is hiding in plain sight. Carlo Rhoda is bringing such a menacing swagger to Sidwell, and the theory that he is currently lounging in one of those luxury suites, sipping top-shelf bourbon while the entire city tears itself apart looking for him, is the kind of classic high-stakes soap opera drama that I live for. Think about the absolute genius of this scheme for a second. The Metro Court is the bustling heart of Port Charles. Everyone who is anyone passes through those revolving doors. To hide the most wanted man right in the epicenter of the city is a masterstroke of villainy. But this isn't just about a game of hide and seek. This is about a deeply sinister, multi-layered conspiracy that has its roots tangled in some of the darkest history this show has ever produced. Nina Reeves is out of her mind with worry. And honestly, Cynthia Watros is acting her heart out right now. You can feel the palpable terror radiating from her every time she mentions her Aunt Liesel. Our beloved doctor, Obrecht, played by the incomparable Kathleen Gotti, has vanished into thin air, and we know exactly who took her. Cullum snatched her right out of the General Hospital parking garage. The sheer brazenness of taking a high-profile doctor from the hospital's own property proves that Cullum and Sidwell are not playing by any conventional rules. They are operating with absolute impunity, and that terrifies me for the future of our favorite characters. But the psychological torture doesn't stop there, folks. Let's talk about that agonizing, heart-wrenching scene in the Metro Court Gardens on Monday, June 15th. Nina is sitting there, pouring her heart out, desperate for any shred of hope regarding her aunt. And who is she talking to? Nathan West. But we know the horrifying truth. It's Cassius Faison. Ryan Pavey being back on our screens is a treat. But seeing him wear the face of Nina's beloved, tragic Nathan while harboring the darkest of secrets is making my skin crawl in the best possible way. Cassius knows exactly where Liesel is. He knows the torment Nina is going through, yet he sits there, stone-faced, refusing to breathe a word of it. The betrayal is so deeply personal. It's not just a physical kidnapping, it's a psychological game of chess. And Cassius is moving his pieces with a cruelty that would make his father proud. And speaking of his father, let's address the massive, terrifying elephant in the room, Caesar Faison. Anders Hove may not be on screen, but the ghost of Faison is suffocating Port Charles right now. Valentine Cassadine has finally connected the dots. And when James Patrick Stewart gets that look of dawning horror in his eyes, you know the stakes are apocalyptic. This isn't just a random kidnapping for ransom. Cullum and Sidwell have abducted Liesel to force her to complete Caesar Faison's final, most devastating project, the cold fusion weapon prototype. Just saying the words Faison's cold fusion weapon sends a shiver down my spine. The legacy of Cesar Faison is one of destruction, obsession, and global terror. But what breaks my heart into a million pieces is the realization of why Liesel was taken. She is the replacement. She is stepping into the shoes of her late, fiercely beloved daughter, Britt Westbourne. Kelly Thibault's Britt was originally the scientific genius they needed for this horrific project. The tragedy of Liesel being forced to finish the very work that might have doomed her own daughter is a layer of emotional cruelty that only General Hospital could pull off. Liesel is a survivor, she is a warrior, but to be chained to the legacy of the man who tormented her, forced to replicate her dead daughter's genius, it is a storyline of Shakespearean tragedy, and I am entirely captivated by how this will break or forge Dr. Obrecht in the fires of this crucible. Now, let's circle back to the Metro Court security fiasco, because this is where the plot thickens into a dense, impenetrable fog of conspiracy. Nina, knowing her crimson offices are right upstairs, naturally assumes she can just waltz into the security room and pull the tapes. She wants to see who visited Liesel's suite to see if she left on her own or was dragged out kicking and screaming. But the security guard shuts her down. He flat out denies her. Nina used to co-own the place, for crying out loud. So she does what any desperate person in Port Charles does. She goes to Carly Spencer. Laura Wright brings that fierce, protective mama bear energy, and Carly immediately gets on the phone. Carly calls the security desk, throws her weight around as the owner, and authorizes the release of the footage. And what happens? Nothing. The footage remains locked down. This was the moment, my friends. The exact moment I screamed at my television. Carly's authority in her own hotel was completely bypassed. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the mole in the security office isn't just some low-level peon looking for a quick bribe. This is someone with override codes, someone who can look Carly Spencer in the virtual eye and say no without fear of being fired. Cullum has his claws buried so deep into the infrastructure of the Metro Court that he controls what the cameras see and who gets to see it. It is the only logical explanation for why the footage is being withheld. They are protecting Sidwell's location. Sidwell is in that hotel, living in the lap of luxury, using the Metro Court as his personal command center to orchestrate the cold fusion weapon's completion. Valentine sees the writing on the wall. He knows that Carly's failed flex means they are dealing with an enemy that is deeply entrenched and highly sophisticated. Valentine realizes that the local Port Charles Police Department is completely out of its depth here. This is a matter of global security. This is World Security Bureau territory. And here is where my anxiety levels went through the roof. Valentine knows he has to follow Jack Brennan's orders. Chris L. McKenna has turned Brennan into this fascinating, ambiguous puppet master, pulling strings from turning woods. Brennan tells Valentine he must contact Z. Who in the world is Z? My mind is racing with theories. Is Z a legendary deep-cover WSB agent? Is it an old contact of Faison's who flipped, or is it a code name for someone we already know and love who is operating in the shadows? Whoever this Z is, they are apparently the only entity capable of neutralizing the combined threat of Sidwell and Cullum. But look at the terrible risk Valentine is taking. By reaching out to Z, by acting as an unofficial arm of the WSB under Brennan's direction, Valentine is painting a massive target on his own back. He is risking everything. If this goes sideways, Valentine isn't just looking at a slap on the wrist, he is looking at a one-way ticket back to Steinmauer. The damp, miserable, soul-crushing walls of that WSB prison are looming over Valentine's head, and you can see the conflict tearing him apart. He is risking his freedom, his relationship with Anna, his life with Charlotte, all to stop a madman from detonating a cold fusion weapon. It is heroic, it is tragic, and it is a powder keg waiting to explode. And as if that wasn't enough drama to give us all heart palpitations, the preview for Tuesday, June 16th, threw another massive wrench into the gears. Nina and Willow Kane, played beautifully by Caitlin McMullen, are seen marching into Turning Woods to confront Jack Brennan face to face. Since Carly's phone call to the security desk was a spectacular failure, Nina and Willow are resorting to nuclear options. They need that security footage, and they believe Brennan is the only one with the dark web connections and the WSB authority to hack into the Metro Court's corrupted system and extract the video. But listen to me, folks. Jack Brennan does not do anything out of the goodness of his heart. He is a transactional creature. If he is going to bypass a highly sophisticated Cullum-backed security mole to get that footage, he is going to want something massive in return. The spoilers hint that Brennan is going to negotiate with Willow. Why Willow? What leverage does he have over her? Or what could she possibly offer a former WSB director? Is he going to force Willow into some dangerous espionage game? Will he use her connection to Michael and the Corinthos organization to further his own mysterious agenda? I am terrified for Willow because she is walking into a viper's nest thinking she is just asking for an IT favor. Brennan is going to ensnare her in a web of obligations that could destroy her family. This all leads to one terrifying, undeniable conclusion. Jen Sidwell is setting a trap. The Metro Court is his fortress. The security mole is his shield. And this coming weekend is going to be the battleground. Sidwell knows that Valentine, Carly, Nina, and the WSB are circling. He knows they are looking for Liesel and the cold fusion prototype. He isn't hiding because he is scared. He is hiding because he is lying in wait. He is waiting for them to make a desperate move to breach the hotel, to come looking for the footage in person. I am telling you, this weekend is going to change the landscape of General Hospital forever. We are looking at a potential hostage situation, a massive shootout, or the horrifying deployment of Faison's technology right in the middle of the Metro Court restaurant. The stakes have never been higher. The betrayals are cutting deeper than ever. Carly's empire is compromised. Valentine's freedom hangs by a thread. Nina is trusting a man wearing a dead hero's face. And Liesel is trapped in a nightmare echoing her greatest tragedy. I cannot sleep. I cannot focus on anything else. I just need the next episode right now. Keep your eyes glued to the screen, my friends, because Port Charles is about to go up in flames. And I will be right here to break down every glorious, agonizing second of it with you.